Thanks for coming back to see me. It's really great to see you. How have you been? Okay. How about a little soothing? I think today we could all use a little soothing for our souls. Our souls, our minds, our emotions, and our bodies, right? Specifically our nervous system. Do you ever feel anxious throughout the day? A little nervous? Yeah, I do too. I think a lot of us do. What are ways that we can soothe our nervous system? Well, with our diet, absolutely with our diet, we can soothe, calm, relax, repair. Maybe an overextended nervous system. What is your nervous system? It's really electricity. It's the electrical impulses that your brain sends to your body to do certain things, to sense, to heighten your sensations, your awareness, physical sensations, emotional sensations. It creates an emotional response that we can alter with our mental thoughts, which could be good or bad, right? Our thoughts can be reassuring or, so often recently with current events, our thoughts can also be judging, criticizing. It can reinforce a feeling of fear. And fear, what is that going to do? It's going to stimulate, sometimes overstimulate our nervous system, right? Yeah. So ways that we can soothe, calm, repair our nervous system with diet. Of course, certain supplements. The best known one is magnesium. It's always good to look into supplements and see if they work for you. See if it speaks to you. Magnesium can nourish our muscles, our nervous system, our nerves. Our muscles can be cramped. We can get cramps. We can clench up. Constrict ourselves in so many ways. Emotionally, mentally, physically. Clamp ourselves down. Maybe intuitively our gut instinct would be to react to something, but we don't because we feel constricted in many ways. So going back to that nervous system, it's going to replenish our instinctual acts, perhaps. Getting back to what's natural, what our natural reaction is to any given situation, I think. Something that comes to mind, for breakfast, I like to eat oatmeal. Do you like oats? Now, I've recently started eating a healthy muesli in the mornings. It's oat-based, so it has oat flakes and other types of grains and dried fruits and berries. I recently read that oats, in order to release all of its nutritional bounty, all of its oat medicine that it can give us, all of its positive properties, you need to soak it or cook it. Otherwise, it provides fiber, but it passes through our system still holding its protective coating the properties we're looking for, particularly to soothe our nervous system. So I tend to soak my oat muesli overnight in rice milk. That's my personal favorite. I do avoid cow dairy products. I avoid cow's milk, which tends to be inflammatory and provoke allergies in certain people. So I soak the oat muesli in rice milk, and on days that I forget and I have time, I will heat it up, and as the weather's turning colder in certain parts of the world, certainly where I live, it's always reassuring to eat a warm breakfast. Get the day started with something warm. So, supplements, diet, meditation, of course, always soothes the nervous system. What does it do? For me, it acts like a sponge and soaks up negative emotions and thoughts. It clears the mental body, the emotional body, and thereby has a direct, soothing, calming impact on the physical body as well. What do I do personally? Personally, I started meditating, let's say 5 years ago. I learned Transcendental Meditation. I did that twice a day for 20 minutes for 2 years. 2 straight years. I really needed to learn mantra meditation because transcendental meditation is like natural medication for the soul, body, mind, and emotions, absolutely. I needed to learn a technique, a meditative technique that was low maintenance because I had a real issue, a real problem and difficulty calming down my mind and my thoughts. There was constant mental chatter, constant movement going on in my brain. Maybe you can relate to that. I think you can. Yeah. And so I found that repeating a mantra over and over, just gently, letting it flow, ebb and flow, just like waves in the ocean, in and out. Soothing in and out. With no judgment, no criticism, just letting thoughts that came in my mind come in and flow out. And if I focused on something that came in, I didn't beat myself up about it. I just stayed with it, and as soon as I realized what I was doing, I just let it flow out. And then went back to repeating my mantra. Very soothing, very calming, for 20 minutes. I woke up earlier in the day to fit it in. And then the second time was at the beginning of my evening before I would prepare dinner. That was a good time for me. And that way, I had all the soothing, calming benefits for my evening. Yeah. A lot of people practice mindfulness these days. Really, it doesn't matter what practice you choose. What matters is that you find something that you can work with on a consistent basis. Something that speaks to you, that speaks to your soul, that you find relaxing and calming. It's going to be different for many, many types of people. So I wanted to let you know what works for me. Maybe it'll work for you too. Maybe mantra meditation. And after that 2-year period, for 3 years now, I simply lie down. I set an app on my phone, a meditation application. It gives me 30 seconds to set up my surroundings. I close my curtains and lie down on my bed. And then there's a soothing gong. And then I have 20 minutes. And I just lie down and rest. And I tap into a place deep in myself. I just sort of sink in deeply. Sort of into a big, fluffy, warm blanket. Enveloped by my soul, my higher self. A feeling of calm, my core self. And I feel that. And thoughts come and go. But I always come into this core, calming place. And I always stick with it. With practice over and over. And it saturates me with an inner peace. I always feel the need to meditate because my brain sort of shuts down. And I really feel the need to have that meditative practice soak up all of the energetic frenzy that my nervous system has absorbed from my environment, perhaps from people, energies around me, perhaps from my own thoughts, my own mental thought patterns. They come into play for all of us. And so I just need to calm down and get back to the fundamental me, my core being. And I'd always take a few breaths. I also found a helpful application for my phone. It's called Respi Relax, and it helps work on my breathing. The Wim Hof method is super popular right now too for the past few years. And what counts is that you breathe in and then you breathe out for longer than you breathe in. A 60-40 ratio, 40% in, 60% out. What also helps is that you hold your breath after the intake and before the outward breath. That really calms down the nerves, really replenishes the nervous system as well. Obviously, avoiding excessive caffeine or stimulant intake is key to that too, because that just adds an external stimulant of your nervous system that you don't need. You already have enough with your thoughts. You already have enough with the pollution coming from emotions, emotional states, anger, frustration, sadness, sorrow, fear. Anything that we come into contact with over a day's time period. 24 hours is a long time. And so it's really important to be vigilant, to clean house, to sweep away the energetic debris that fills our bodies, minds, emotional, mental bodies. Periodically, we're saturated and we need to take out the garbage. Right? Clean house. Just do a little hygiene, a little energetic hygiene. Our nervous systems thank us. We're less anxious throughout the day. We're less nervous. Listen to some ASMR. The soothing, calming voice will calm you down. That's what happens. When we get the tingly sensation also, it stimulates the positive reflexes, stimulates those beautiful neurotransmitters, the serotonin. Okay, these are natural antidepressants, natural mood boosters, natural nerve suppressors. They nourish. It's like they wrap each nerve ending, each nerve in a comforting blanket. Just calm and soothe and relax and place a healing balm on all of the raw energy, the raw electrical energy that causes when we're overstimulated. And I believe that people who are open to, receptive, and have the most beneficial impact from ASMR are those who are ultra sensitive and who are capable of receiving so many messages through their nervous systems, through those electrical impulses. And therefore it's very, very important to calm it down, to place that soothing blanket over each nerve ending. Yes. You know, a few years ago, I had an MRI. I was having vertigo spells, and I was so anxious prior to the MRI because you have to go into that machine. And as an adult, as I age, I've had a tendency toward claustrophobia. And those sensations are so anxiety-provoking. And I used to have dreams, nightmares. A type of recurring nightmare I would have was being trapped in enclosed spaces. And it was entirely correlated with a period in my life where I felt trapped. And that also came out later in spells of vertigo. And I don't mean simple dizziness that corrected itself. I mean literal vertigo, where I could not cross a room without physical support. A person's arm, furniture, the wall, to that extent. And so an MRI was definitely a rational, logical, medicalized approach to verifying, confirming that I had nothing in my brain that was going wrong. But prior to entering into that tunnel, the MRI apparatus, there was as an option to having a certain type of medication, a calming medication. But the technical personnel advised against it because they had less accurate results with patients who ingested the substance, and as a rule, I am against. If I can avoid it at all costs, I like to avoid allopathic medications, and I prefer using natural remedies. As you know by watching my previous videos, and as evidenced by being a licensed homeopath. Now, and so what did I do before and during the MRI? Because you're in the machine for quite some time, actually. I think it is about 30-40 minutes, which can seem like an eternity when you are prone to claustrophobia. What did I do? So I went back to the meditative state that I had been doing twice a day for 20 minutes for the past 2 years previously to the MRI. So it had become an automatic reflex to tap into that state and go back into those brain waves, which automatically calmed me. I believe those are alpha waves, because there's so many different brainwave pattern states that indicate states of awareness. And so I was able to switch to the calming brainwaves. So it is handy and useful, even if I can't lie down for a state of meditation, for me at least, to be by myself in a place, if I'm in a stressful environment, stressful circumstances, and then just go back into that core state of calm, because it's become a habit to tap into that. And so I invite you to use that, to find some sort of meditative practice in addition to supplements, diet, meditation, also some form of writing. It's very important that it's putting pen to paper with your hand. Writing with our hand. It has some sort of magical properties. Our hands connect. By using our hands, putting pen to paper, it's somehow our hand is a mechanical conduit, a filter, a vessel of what's going on in our mind, and then we channel it on to the paper, and it exits our body. And we relieve ourselves of whatever was going on incessantly. Try it again. Habitual efforts, because it takes an effort to create a habit, doesn't it? I think the experts say repeating any action over and over for 30 days will solidify a habit. And maybe it takes that long to imprint the effect upon our brains. And perhaps in our body, the action in our body. So, writing can be journaling, can be writing articles, can be complete and total free association, pen to paper. Of course, the morning pages, 3 morning pages or less, just random thoughts. Free association, random thoughts. Putting pen to paper on any scrap of paper, or purchasing a journal, why not, as a gift for Christmas, for the holidays, a gift to you, a gorgeous journal. I have a notepad, and I write every morning and night. I write down basic free association. Recently, I started writing down my fears and my resentments. I fear that I am resentful at, because I have fear that. I got that as an idea. And then I meditate after. And it really soaks up like a sponge. Pen to paper, meditation, diet. These daily hygienic practices, they help me so much. And so I really wanted to share that with you today as a method for soothing body, emotions, mental, body, spiritual, body, soul, holistic approach. Really, that's the only thing that's effective that I've found, is utilizing resources, creating habits that have an impact on a holistic level. Body, emotions, mind, soul, spirit. That's what I like. I hope it helps for you. Please tell me if it does. I'd like to know. And so I'll leave you with that. We'll take a few deep breaths. We'll soak up all of your anxieties for the day. How about lying down and seeking a calm place? A calm of peace, an inner peace inside